Okay, so thanks for being here. Let's get started with a grounding meditation, and then we will get into today's practice, today's talk and skill building, essentially, right? So I feel like I need a few deep breaths. If you feel like you need a few deep breaths, please feel free to take them, as many as you want, and just starting to settle into your space and maybe settling into your space. Maybe it's helpful to look around your space and just seeing it visually, and maybe that brings some calm and some comfort. And then if you would like to close down that visual door, you can close your eyes, feeling your seat beneath you, feeling your feet and what your feet are touching, feeling the weight of your body, and just starting to notice your breath with just a very light and gentle touch, noticing to open up the awareness around the breath, but this gentle touch, this light touch is not trying to change the breath or make the breath be any certain way. We're just breathing, and we're starting to become more aware that we're breathing. And as your body settles in, and maybe your awareness settling in and the breath settling in, just noticing how you feel emotionally. What's the weather system like internally for you right now? And we're noticing just to be familiar with it, not to change it. Or again, we're not trying to have a specific or certain emotional state. Just noticing where we're at right now. Bringing this grounding meditation to a close. Just noticing how you're feeling here. So here we could just take note of how we are arriving here, what our current state is physically, emotionally, mentally. All right. So tonight we are exploring equanimity. And equanimity is one of the heart practices. So, the heart practices that we have already um, been into on previous classes are loving kindness. That is another heart practice, and compassion is another heart practice. Equanimity is one of those heart practices, and the fourth heart practice is mudita, or joy. So tonight is equanimity, and I have a sentence here that I'd like to share with you that I think is lovely, how it puts everything, all of those heart practices together. From the soil of loving kindness grows the beautiful bloom of compassion, watered with tears of empathetic joy under the cool shade of the tree of equanimity. So equanimity is its inner balance. It allows us to stay connected to ourselves and others without being swept away. So um, if when we look at it on the in the realm of neuroscience, it is tied to emotional regulation. It gives us the ability to pause and respond instead of react, and stay present with what's true. So, and we've talked about that in other classes that we've had, where we're using this skill to help us to pause and respond and not reacting. So this is again just illustrating how all of these practices work together, and they're really not intended to be standalone practices. They're intended to um, help us to be well balanced in our practice. So equanimity it's not about pushing things away. Um, and it's not about not feeling things. It's really about feeling everything and learning to stay with it. So we can think of the mind like a sky. All the emotions, thoughts, and experiences are weather systems. The sky, that big blue sky, is constant. It's always there. It's the weather that comes through that makes the sky look differently. So what equanimity is it's that blue sky, and our thoughts and our emotions and our experience and our human life are all of the weather systems that are just rolling by. So when we talk about equanimity, I think it's really important to also talk about impermanence. Um, so um, what these practices can help us to better understand is impermanence, that everything has a start, middle, and end. Everything is coming and going. Um, and so we've got this pair of equanimity and impermanence that are, I think parallel to each other. When we have the understanding that everything is impermanent, and what we're going through right now absolutely is not going to stay the same, that if we are not feeling really strong in our equanimity practice, then that can just be helpful to remember, even a mental note. This will pass, this will change, and it can help us to find that space to um, bring equanimity to a situation. So equanimity is about embracing both joy and sorrow. And it can help, it's not a hardening of our heart. It's It's being tender and our heart being wise. Martin Luther King said, "We can walk through the darkest night with the radiant conviction that all things work together for the good." So equanimity is about having peace. Peace is not absence of change or difficulty. And again, equanimity should not be confused with withdrawal or indifference to life. So we're not what can happen is that we can close down because of fear of something that's happening. So this is about opening up, allowing and accepting for what is actually there. This helps us to be more connected. It helps us to be more open and to be in a place of love. Whereas withdrawing is out of fear and is running away. Also, acceptance does not mean inaction. So when we have something that's going on, that we get a storm, an emotional storm that's coming in. Having equanimity around that storm isn't about not doing anything if you decide that something needs to be done about that storm that's coming through. What equanimity does is it helps us to have a more peaceful response, and gives us that pause so that we can move from a place of balance and wisdom instead of fear. So equanimity can be generated just like we can generate loving kindness and we can generate compassion, right? So we did those practices before and we did them over and over again. And we can see how when we do these practices in a regular way, that it influences us. It influences our heart, it influences our thinking mind, and it helps us to create more habits from these heart practices instead of the habits that we felt were not serving us well. So just as the human mind it's normal for the human mind to create conflict, it can also create feelings and responses that are from equanimity. So the human mind can create conflict and the human mind can create peace. And we find peace from within ourselves. So this isn't something that we are looking to someone else to bring to us or looking to a healer to give us the answer. This equanimity practice comes from within us. So it's about intentionally directing our attention. So we can be in the habit of directing our attention to conflict in ways that feel unhealthy, where we get caught in it and we want things to be another way. Or we can find peace in times of anxiety and allow things to be as they are and have some inner peace around that, the situation that's happening. And when we do that, we're bringing a balance to the situation that we are then in a better space to move forward from. So let's do some reflection here. So a little bit of a meditation practice here, but it's really more a time for reflection. So just coming into a space, a position that feels comfortable, maybe closing down your eyes. And just starting to reflect on some days or some times that you've had in your life where you've felt stirred up and conflicted. And now, can you reflect on some times when you have felt that you've had a peaceful heart? Now bring to mind someone you know who moves through the world with a peaceful heart. And think about what it's like to be around them. What's it like to be in their presence, to interact with them? True peace comes from the discovery that we can respect the seasons of life with a spacious and undefended heart. There's a trust, resting in the truth of the way things are, and to willingly accept the measure of joy and sorrow we are given. So let's do one more short little practice here. So, one thing that might be helpful in understanding equanimity is a visualization of a mountain. So, again, maybe closing down your eyes here, feeling your breath, and bring to your mind a mountain. See it in your mind's eye with as much detail as you can. Tall, strong, grounded. The mountain is steady in the midst of all weather. So here, start to invite the qualities of the mountain into your own body. Feel your feet and your seat rooted like the base of the mountain. Your spine rises up like the mountain peak. Weather will come and go. And for us, the weather are our thoughts and emotions and sounds, and we can remain grounded. So, this visualization can help to remind you that you can remain steady in the middle of whatever arises. You are the mountain, and everything else is the weather. So now we'll talk a little bit about impermanence and the idea of change. So, like we talked about before, everything in our experience is impermanent. Thoughts, sensations in the body, moods, the seasons of our lives. So, equanimity means recognizing this truth and also know that our nervous system is wired to want control. So, we have a negativity bias and we want to avoid what is unpleasant and cling to what feels good. And unfortunately, that those that wiring creates suffering for us. Tara Brach reminds us that we can care deeply without needing to control the outcome. Equanimity allows us to care without fixing, to love without grasping, and to meet this moment exactly as it is. So, true equanimity is the capacity to be spacious and loving and peaceful as all things arise and pass. Equanimity doesn't mean that everything is equal. Equanimity is wanting, it's not wanting anything specific. It is it's not wanting to be relaxed and it's not wanting to be peaceful. It is, it's what I like to, the visualization that I like to use is a calm mountain lake. So when I'm feeling unbalanced and I'm not moving in with equanimity, I'm like a storm in the ocean, right? These big waves that are up and down and crashing and it's violent and it's unsettling. And when we can have this equanimity where there's this this layer of or this non-reaction of movement. If you think of a mountain lake and it's very calm, it's like a mirror. So you can see the reflection of everything around it. And so to me, it's this calmness, but it's also this clarity of that it helps me to see things more clearly. Um, and if I use the same analogy of of um, the the ocean that is turbulent, that's like clouding my vision, and it it can prevent me from seeing things as they actually are. And then I'm reacting from a place that basically isn't truth, right? I'm reacting from a place that is from something that I've made up, some story that I've made up from this cloud, from this weather system, from this turbulence, instead of when I'm balanced in and doing well with my equanimity is it's calm and I'm seeing things clearly. I'm allowing things to be as they are, and I'm moving forward in a way, in a wise way. Um, Equanimity, when we practice equanimity, It can be like a loving kindness practice where we have some phrases that we can use that are helpful to generate, excuse me, like I said, we can generate equanimity. And so just like with loving kindness, and we were using those phrases to generate that loving kindness, we can do the same thing. Equanimity phrases can help us also. So some equanimity phrases: all beings have their own journey. This is your journey. So these, some of these are, you know, a lot of um, our weather systems that are coming into our lives are being generated by other people, other humans, right? And that could be a child, it could be a parent, it could be a coworker, it could be a boss. And a lot of these equanimity phrases are tools that we can use if we start to have some of those unpleasant weather systems going on, coming through us that are associated with another being. So here's another one. I care about you and I can't control your life. I let go of my demands and expectations for your life. I can relate to a lot of these with my daughters, right? I care for you and I can't keep you from suffering. I wish for your happiness and I entrust you to your own journey. So this goes back to the allowing things to be as they are and not trying to fix things. And some equanimity phrases that we can use for ourselves: may I be balanced and at peace. May I be peaceful. May my heart be at rest and balanced in the midst of all things. May I learn to see the arising and passing of all nature with equanimity and balance. So I'm hoping that you can see how equanimity and impermanence really are weaved together to just help us to process this human life and help us to um, remind ourselves when we start to feel that we're reacting from a difficult situation, to help to remind us that not to want um, something to be different, to allow it to be what it is, and to move forward from that place. Ready to do a practice? Settling into a comfortable seat. Closing down your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And starting to pay more attention to your breath. Feeling the body sitting and feeling the body breathing. And begin reflecting on the benefit of a mind that has balance and equanimity. Sense what a gift it can be to bring a peaceful heart to the world around you. Let yourself feel an inner sense of balance and ease. And begin repeating an equanimity phrase like, may I be balanced and at peace, or may I be peaceful. May my heart be at rest and balanced in the midst of all things. Repeating an equanimity phrase that feels right to you here, that helps you to feel an inner sense of balance and ease. May I be balanced and at peace. And we acknowledge that all things arise and pass away, joys, sorrows, people, animals, pleasant events, communities. May I learn to see the arising and passing of all nature with equanimity and balance. May I learn to see the arising and passing of all nature with equanimity and balance. May I be open and balanced. May I be open, balanced, and peaceful. Acknowledging that all beings are the owners of our actions, that all beings' lives arise and pass away. We can love and care for others. We cannot fix them. To find equanimity with others, we can add this phrase: your happiness and suffering depend on your thoughts and actions and not my wishes for you. Your happiness and suffering depend on your thoughts and actions and not my wishes for you. And now you can wish peace and equanimity for a specific person you know. Wishing someone, may you learn to see the arising and passing of all things with equanimity and balance. May you be peaceful and balanced. May you have true equanimity. And we can expand this field of equanimity to the whole world. May I bring compassion and equanimity to the events of the world. May I find balance, equanimity, and peace amidst it all. May I learn to see the arising and passing of all things with equanimity and balance. Now, releasing the phrases, letting your attention rest in an open awareness, just noticing how you feel here physically, emotionally, mentally. How does practicing equanimity, intentionally bringing equanimity to yourself and others and the whole world, how does that feel? Just noticing, feeling the body sitting, feeling the body breathing. Coming back into your space, maybe taking some deeper breaths, noticing how you feel. All right, well, that's all I have for today. So we'll have our morning Zoom practices starting Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Monday. And yeah,